Hi everybody, Lydia Martin here with Banish Business Clutter, and I wanted to go live tonight to talk about one of my favorite topics, numbers. How many of you love numbers, right? I mean, if it was up to me, I could literally live inside a Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet. I don't know why, but ever since I sold Girl Scout cookies as a youth, I absolutely loved tracking sales and numbers and working towards a goal. But I realized that not everybody feels as excited as I do about numbers. Sometimes numbers can be overwhelming, right? We're all business owners or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, whatever title you give yourself. And sometimes we're in survival mode as a business owner, right? And the last thing we want to be thinking about is numbers and taxes and business expenses. But I'm here to tell you, if you're like I was in the beginning stages of my business, you did a lot of things wrong before you did a lot of things right. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it with a question. If you're here with me live or you're watching the replay, please go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear from you and hear what your experience has been like. But here's my question. Is your business profitable? You know, that is honestly not a question I asked myself for years. All I was focused on was sales and income. Those were the only two numbers I looked at. How much was I selling? What percentage was I earning? And I never really thought about if I was a profitable business, meaning after expenses, what am I actually bringing home? So this is the reason why a lot of people do not know the answer to this question. If this is your system for tracking expenses, then it's really hard to know if your business is profitable, right? You may know the revenue that's coming in, but you don't know your profit margin or your profitability unless you know also what you are spending each month in your business. And tracking expenses is a challenge. Am I right? Now, if you've been in business a while, you may be using one of the amazing accounting financial software programs that are available, apps that are available, everything from QuickBooks to FreshBooks to Wave, which is a free finance software that's newer on the scene. And these are amazing tools. In fact, I highly recommend if you are in business and working your business like a business, you absolutely should have some key tools and software that are going to help you track your numbers. Something much more sophisticated than the shoebox method. Now, I did the shoebox method for 17 years, so I'm talking from experience here. I get it. You're in survival mode. You know you need to be tracking your expenses. You don't really have a plan. You don't really have a tool, so you just put it in a shoebox, and at the end of the year, all you can think about is, April 15th is coming. And if I'm lucky, I'll get my taxes done in time. If not, it's time for an extension, right? Well, I want to share some tips on making sure that you know your profitability and, more importantly, know how to increase your profitability. So that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. I want to share my 3 steps to increasing profitability in your business, because that's what it's all about, guys. It's not just sales and revenue. It's profitability, right? How much is that bottom line that you are bringing home? So here's step number 1. You have to have a plan. Now, I love these 3 questions. Anytime I'm coaching, working with business owners, whether it's with digital organizations, systems, tools, I'm always asking, so where are you now? Where are the struggles? Where are the pain points? What's going well? Okay, but more importantly, where do you want to go? And this is why setting goals in your business is so important, right? If you don't have a goal, you don't have a destination. It's like getting in your car, expecting your GPS to take you somewhere, and you didn't put in the address. So important to set goals. And a lot of business owners, they may set a revenue goal, an income goal, but they don't set a profit goal. What do I want to be bringing home after expenses? Okay. And I need to know where I am now to determine that, right? And then once I set that goal, what's my plan to get there? What revenue resources can I implement in my life to reach that profit goal? And, I love working with business owners who think outside of the box, right? There are so many ways to increase the revenue, the streams of income that are coming in for you, right? Sometimes you just have to think outside of the box. So maybe you want to create a digital product and sell that. Maybe you want to create a physical product. You're very crafty. You want to sell at craft fairs. Maybe you want to sell items on Poshmark, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy. Okay. Maybe you want to start with a direct sales company and sell a product like that. Maybe you're a course creator. You want to sell courses. Maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're a service provider. There are so many different ways today to generate revenue. Okay. But then the next step is, what's my plan for expenses? What will that cost? Because that's what's going to determine your profitability. So that's step one. You have to have a plan. How is that income coming into you? What are my goals that I'm trying to reach? Not just of revenue, but for profit. Step number two is knowing these numbers. Okay. So obviously, we're probably all looking at the money that's coming in, but are you looking at the money that's going out? That is what determines your profit, right? You have your revenue, you minus your expenses, and that gives you your profit. Now, if you divide that profit into the total revenue, that gives you what's called a profit margin. Okay, and that percent varies. It's different depending on your type of business or your niche. So if you sell a product and you're a company, you may be thrilled with a 10% profit margin, because after operating expenses and things like that, 10%, since you sell millions of dollars, is great. Okay. Others of us, we are shooting for a much higher profit margin, right? We may want to be making sure we are bringing in, keeping as profit 50, 60, 70% of the revenue that's coming in. And that's why I wanted to come on live tonight, because as I've been working with business owners, I've realized that a lot of people don't have a tool to quickly figure this out. So I've been working for the last few weeks to take the tracker I've been utilizing for many years, and I've spiffed it up and created an amazing tool that I want to share with you guys tonight. But first, let's go ahead and talk about step number 3. Once you know your numbers, the key to increasing profitability is analyzing and adjusting, right? Once you know your numbers and you're tracking over time, now you can look at your reports and say, okay, what can I do to make sure I'm hitting that profit goal that I have? How can I increase my revenue? How can I decrease my expenses? Because I want that profit margin to be higher. I want to be keeping more of what I make, right? Can I get an amen on that? So what do? I want to introduce this tool that I created that will help you do all of this. I'm calling it my Business Profitability Tracker. And it is a tool in Google Sheets that you can use to track your revenue, expenses, profit margin. I'm going to show you how it works, how easy it is to use, because I want you to be able to know these numbers so that you can analyze and adjust as well. So I'll go ahead and share the link with you. You can check it out now. This is the link, lydiamartin.biz/tracker. I'll come back to this again at the end as well, but let me share my screen and show you how it works. All right, so this is a Google Sheet, and as you can see, it's a very, very simple spreadsheet that allows you to enter in your monthly revenue goal and your monthly profit goal. Now, all of these numbers are random. I just put them in as an example so you can kind of see how it works. In this example, this person's saying, my revenue goal is $8,500 a month, which that does end up being over $100K a year if that's one of your goals. And monthly profit goal, they said, you know what, with the expenses I have, I want to make sure I'm bringing home after expenses at least $5,500 of that. So that leads to a profit margin of almost 65%. Once these goals are set, now it's time to know your numbers, right? Each month, you can come into the tracker and enter an amount under all of your revenue sources, whatever they may be. Okay, these are all examples of the 5 revenue streams I have coming into my business. Now, these aren't my numbers, but I earn money from courses, from coaching, from speaking. Okay, and now this is a digital product. This is another stream of income. And then, of course, I'm also an affiliate for a lot of companies. It's a great way to add an additional revenue stream to your business. So the cool thing about the tracker is once I've entered in this info, it automatically adds everything up for me. But what about your expenses? Well, this tracker is completely customizable. You're going to start right here. I have a bunch of categories already imported here, but you might have a category that you track every year. In fact, if you look at your tax return from last year, you will see all of the different categories of expenses that you have in your business. So you can come in here and add any of those that you wish. So maybe you want to add home repairs as an expense. Maybe you have more than one business and you want to track the expenses separately. You could put in here business 1, advertising. Okay, you could say business 2, advertising. You get to pick any categories that you want to track in your tracker. Now, once you've set this up, right here is where you're going to enter your expenses. So I've made it super simple by you adding the date, the description, and then right here is your category list. It's all based on what was entered on that first sheet. So you can see here are the 3 things I just added. So if this is an expense for business 1, I can click business 1 advertising and put in the amount. All of this, guys, automatically adds up and imports onto your expense sheet. So how cool is this? You don't need to touch any of this information. All you need to do is enter in your revenue, enter in your expenses, and it's going to, at a glance, show you your profit margin, your profit. Now, how do I know if I'm getting close to my goal? Wouldn't it be awesome if there was a dashboard that showed you everything at a glance? Well, of course there is. Right down here, I did create a dashboard that takes all of the data. You don't have to touch this. It's automatically generated, and you can in an instant see your year-to-date numbers, and you can see each and every piece of data. So how much am I earning from my revenue sources? Okay, in this example, 44,000, which is 46%, is coming from courses. Here we have our number for coaching, for speaking, for products, for affiliates. So every one of these things is interactive so that you can see your exact numbers along with your goal. So see how this says revenue goal. Remember their goal was 8,500, and at a glance, you can see the months that that goal was met and the months that it wasn't. And you can see how close you were to your goal. But scroll down and you can actually look at your profit goal as well. So this one's tracking profit, this one's tracking revenue, and this one's tracking your profit margin. So the cool thing is that sometimes we may not hit our revenue goals, but we may hit our profit goal, which means your profit margin was so good that month, it's something to celebrate. But if your revenue is really high and the profit margin's really low, then there might need to be some adjusting in there. How can you cut back on expenses, right? And then if you scroll down even farther, I even included a year-to-date total expense per category. So if you want to know what you've spent on advertising or anything else throughout the year, you have this option. This tracks expenses per month. And one other bonus is a year-to-date total expense report. So if you've been using a shoebox, now you can take those receipts, enter them on your expense chart, and at the end of the year, everything will be added up for you. Exciting, right? So remember, in order to get your tracker, you're going to go to lydiamartin.biz/tracker. Once purchased, you will be able to access the Getting Started tutorial. So when you get log in after you've bought your tracker. There's a complete video in here on how to use your tracker, how to import it into your Google Sheets account. So easy. So I wanted to share this with everybody because this has been a big need and request that I've noticed as I've been working with business owners. Let me know how the trackers helped you, and I hope to see you in our group. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. See you next time.